Gohan embodied in the 8th Supreme God versus Vegeta Ultra God. The battle of the strongest begins now. Vegeta says, "It seems this is the first time since the battle when I invaded Earth that I will fight the son of Kakarot. His power really surprises me. Does that mean that we will now have control of this entire battle? Looks like this could be the final fight, doesn't it? If I finish you off now, we won't have the threat within the universes anymore. I won't be as merciful as Kakarot. I can destroy you anytime I want. After all, I am the great Vegeta." Vados begins to observe and is thinking,
Vegeta is powerful. He really has the power of the Ultra Ego. He always believes that he is the strongest, that he will defeat any enemy that appears. This is very interesting, but still, if you stop to think about it, at no point did this boy show his true powers. What amazes me is that even though the power of the 8th Supreme God is in his body, this power is an energy of Gohan. It can still show something totally different. Good. What will happen?
At that moment, Vegeta begins to activate his Hakai energy combined with the power of the Ultra God and lands several blows on Gohan incorporated in the 8th of the Supreme. The battle starts to get more and more intriguing. Vegeta says, "Come on, don't play with me. Really show your power." Champa regains consciousness and Vado says,
Looks like you've been attacked from behind, Sir Champa. What happened to you? Weren't you going to defeat the 8th of the Supreme?
Champa says,
It felt like a hallucination, but I felt it wasn't his presence that attacked me. Maybe we should be careful, because something worse could happen.
Alright my partner, click on that like button if you're enjoying the video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any more videos and stay connected to our entire universe of Dragon Ball and the Z Warriors. Without further ado, let's get straight to the point. Vados begins to wonder. The moment you hear everything Champa says, Vados speaks.
So why are they fighting here now? Why directly in Universe 6? Is this all part of some other plan?
At that moment in Universe 7, Whis, Beerus and the Great Priest were looking for Zeno-sama until they found a very large energy where everything indicated that it would be Zeno himself. At that moment, Zeno-sama's guards appear. Whis looks with a surprised face and says,
What are you doing here? Did you really find Lord Zeno? In fact, I was going to ask at a certain point, how was Lord Zeno captured and you hadn't gone after him moments ago?
The guards say nothing. The Great Priest speaks.
Looks like we have a big problem here, just as I suspected. Perhaps there may be some celestial betrayal in the midst of all this. We will need to think very carefully to solve all this that is happening.
The High Priest prepares, but Beerus says,
I thought angels were forbidden to fight in this heavenly war. I'm going to deal with these guys myself. I already know very well what I have to do here and now.
Beerus was already very confident in battle. Beerus says,
It's been a long time since the God of Destruction fought with all his might. I remember like it was yesterday that I saw these guys fighting. They really are two monsters, but they must be wanting to combine their powers with Zeno-sama's. If they haven't done so by now, it must be because Zeno-sama's powers still haven't recovered.
Zeno-sama's guards still don't speak, but they are already preparing for the combat position. The Great Priest and Whis say,
It will be interesting to follow what is happening. Come on.
Beerus raises his God of Destruction power higher and higher, and a new battle in Universe 7 begins. Beerus says,
Very well, let's get started.
Universe 6. Gohan, in the form of the 8th of the Ultimate, unleashes several attacks on Vegeta. Vegeta says,
Looks like this kid was just kidding. Each time he manages to raise his power even more, but that doesn't matter.
In a few moments, Vegeta creates a final flash and hits Gohan in the form of the 8th of the Supreme. Vegeta says, "Just as I thought, even though you have embodied the power of a god, since you started these battles, you keep fighting the enemies that appear. So you didn't rest at all. As you have not rested, your power is wasted. You needed a little recovery, didn't you? But I won't let that happen. Now you will know the true power of the Prince of the Saiyans." Gohan in his final form starts laughing and says, "You must be going crazy, Mr. Vegeta, thinking that one day I would be defeated by you. It looks like you have nothing else to show. If so, I'll end you here now." At that moment, Vegeta gets angry and says, "Who do you think you're talking to? Now I will show the true strength." Vegeta begins to increasingly elevate his power of the Ultra Ego combined with the Ultra God form. Gohan starts to laugh. Vados analyzes what Champa says.
Looks like Mr. Vegeta is letting himself be provoked and falling into the trap.
Goku's body that was resting and starts to make a smile face. We can see a new aura reaching Goku's body and being released over Vegeta's body as well. Vegeta says, "What is it? And what's going on with Kakarot's body?" The power of the Supreme Heavenly God, the 4th, gave the Supreme was the soul that was sealed away in Universe 6 and ended up being released and being thrown into the body of Goku and Vegeta. Champa says,
So that was it. It was this celestial energy that attacked me. It was not that of the 8th Supreme God. Vados, you need to interfere with something, because if it continues like this, the whole Universe 6 will be destroyed.
Vados says,
So it means that this is the power of the Supreme Room. You knew all this, wasn't it the 8th Supreme God? You will have to look for another body. I won't let you take care of this boy anymore. After all, since you guys threatened my universe and it was a Universe 7 fight, I can't let things go that way."
The 8th Supreme God in Gohan's body starts watching and says, "What are you going to do? I thought angels didn't engage in battles." Vados starts to laugh and says,
Planetary sealing technique, revolution and destruction. New age, go back to being who you once were and return to your mortal Saiyan essence.
At that moment, a large barrier is thrown by Gohan's body. Gohan regains his original consciousness and says,
What happened with me? I'm not understanding anything anymore.
In that instance, we can see that Goku and Vegeta are incorporated into the 4th Supreme God. The voice of the two becomes one voice. When Goku spoke, Vegeta spoke too. Champa says,
It looks like their combination of powers are linked. It looks like we're going to have some problems here and through this situation.
Gohan speaks,
I think that even with my latent powers, fighting the two of them together in this transformation would be crazy.
Vados smiles and says,
I can't get involved in this battle anymore, but I would say that the situation for the two of you is still going to get much more complicated.
Gohan speaks,
I don't know what happened to me all this time, but even if I risk my whole life, I will save this universe. But still, we are in a tricky situation. If I'm not mistaken, there are two types of fusion, Potara and Metamoru. Both Gogeta and Vegito will be a very intense situation for us to solve. Damn it! The fate of the universe is again in my hands. The energy of the 8th Supreme God is sealed in my body, so I believe he won't be involved anymore. But now there is another being dominating my father and Mr. Vegeta's body.
Goku, embedded in the 4th Supreme God, tries to attack Gohan and says,
I'm just waiting for my powers to recover, and a new most powerful being in the universe will arise.
Vegeta, embedded in the 4th Supreme God, says,
Now the real power of destruction begins.
To be continued. What will Gohan and Champa do? Things have really become more complicated now. So tell me, partner, what do you think about all this and what do you imagine? Click on that like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any more videos. That's all there is to it. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.